Now this is a really interesting place. This was actually a home to a very interesting cult that believed believed the best way to live was by actually just being surrounded by fire all the time, and they did some pretty interesting things with blazes and brick, but the galactic conglomerate was like, it's the same old story, really. I mean, didn't pay their taxes. They did a lot of renovations to this place before it burnt down, and who didn't see that coming? And of course, they didn't tell anybody about it, so there's that problem, right? I mean, tax evasion. They never called the auditor, the galactic auditor, and so now it is being removed. For the highway here. Hold on a second. I'm actually getting some transmission. To go to plug up your butthole. Okay. All right. So it looks like they're about ready to take out the sun, our glowstone sun here. Now, for the sake of working, why don't we go ahead and leave that ring there? Alright, she's going to pack that, but we're going to leave that there. It's a good source of light. So we're going to go back to our demo project here. And, yeah, anyway. So this is a technique called coring. We've been doing this a while. You've probably seen us do this quite a bit. And the basic gist of it is we build a core. We put a core through the planet, pack it, support it, and so we have these pillars of death, basically, destruction, fire, which is pretty apropos. I think the cult that owned this place would actually be pretty happy about it. Oh, so we've gotten a premature detonation here. That's okay. So as you can see, coring is very effective. It is wow. It really is effective. So this is a comet, basically with a space spider floating in it. So let's see. I think the technique that's going to be used best for this, because the problem is the explosions can be difficult with ice or with water. Water can really put a damper on your explosion, so a vertical coring method might work best, but we're going to need to really watch the ice here. Just replace the ice, or the snow, excuse me, with TNT. See, this is a problem. As a matter of fact, we're probably gonna want to make a basement. Alright, well, our demolition team's telling me that they're ready to detonate another planetoid, and I'm gonna have to go supervise this. I am radio to our main engineer. I'm plugging up the butthole in my demolitions right now. If you could wait about 5 clicks or so. What's your location? What's your location? Oh, okay. Excellent. Continue. The old Sand Miser Tower. That was actually a small piece owned by an individual very wealthy. We knew him as the Sand Miser. I mean, that wasn't his real name. His real name was Crumpet Meyer. It's a really bad name when you think about it. But anyway, Old Man Crumpetmeyer became known as the Sand Miser because he built a lot of his house out of sand and then supported it with clay. But he built it in a cylinder, which was nice because it was, it was easy to demolition that. There, see, now that we've supported that, once we supported that with a basement, what that allowed it to do is for the water to basically flow downward, and so it can actually continue to flow downward unobstructed. And so that's that's the purpose of the basement. That's why we use. So this is a fungal planet. You can note the mycelium and the. Most people think those are trees. Those are actually giant spores, budding spores. And so we're going to use another coring method. As you can tell, this is a slightly oblong. And I'm sure, as you can tell, this used to be a public library. But, funding unfortunately got cut. It's a sad story, really. I mean, the kids really loved to come here. And they had everything, man. They would rent out hollow cubes, brain downloads. Those aren't really easy to get nowadays. They're a little outdated, but they're really cool. They're really cool. If you've ever done a brain download, you know what I'm talking about. There, brings back a lot of childhood memories. Oh man, what else did they have? They'd have a lot of programs, right? I mean, teach your child how to build with hard light. That was always one of my favorites. And it's a lost art. It's a technique they're not teaching kids anymore. They're not teaching kids how to build anything out of hard light, which is really sad. It's really sad. Anyway, so yeah, the old library, it lost its funding. I'm not exactly sure how it managed to lose its funding. I think it had. Yeah, I think it had something to do with like the librarian getting into an affair with the head of finances. That's what my chief engineer tells me. So it was a mess, and I mean it was a mess. No, really, I don't know how they did it or what they did to this place. But there was just sawdust everywhere one day when we came in there, and like we didn't know what they were into, but we're hoping it was unrelated, because wow, so much sawdust. But it's supposed to be a non-for-profit, and head of finances was based off of donations, and so when that got out, it didn't send a really good public message. So they got cut. The funding got cut. It was real sad story. All right. So we are going to light up some of our cores here and see how much of this we can take out. This one's a little oblong, so I don't expect it to all go at once, but pretty close, pretty close. Let's see. Excuse me. Now we've just got to make sure that we get the rest of these spore trees here. Actually, I can just sort of get rid of this by hand. It takes too long to do this if you were to do the whole thing, obviously, so that's why we use the tint. We do love what we do. What the? That must have been another layer. Oh, yeah, that's right. Obsidian's immune to the tint. Alright, so we've demolished the old library. Sand Miser's place. Spice. That's what it was. It was Spice. He was a spice merchant. That's right. I forgot. Alright, Chief Engineer, where you at currently? Oh. Chief Engineers have prepared a surprise. See, yep, there it is. She's preparing a surprise. I am going to go along the core of this red planet here and just do some. I'm going to do some coring. You know, it really is effective. Cannot say that enough. Yes, main engineer, I can join you in just a moment. I'm actually. Oh, okay. Whoa, no. Okay, well. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at this. All right, hold on a second. I just want to admire your work here, main engineer. Ah, man, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, this is really well done. You see, now this is the work of a craftsman. This is why she's my main engineer, my main demolitions engineer, because they don't actually teach this technique to just anyone. It's actually a really guarded secret. I would tell you more about it, but I can't. Yeah, that's totally the truth. She had to study for a really long time, and the study helps, but really it's experience. I mean, this is something they don't teach you in schools. This is something you have to learn on your own. Yeah, 145 years. 145 years, at least. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you make a good point. I mean, it's passion, really. It's passion that ultimately gives you the ability. Excuse me, sir. Sir. I have to ask you to leave this area. It's a restricted area. Okay. Yes, please. Please demonstrate your excellence. This is a treat. I'm so glad to capture this on camera. Whoa! Nice. Excellent. Oh, expertly done. That's why. Yeah, that is. That's why you get paid. But we don't need to go there. You know, the union doesn't like us to talk about how much we get paid. So. We are unionized. I mean, you kind of have to be in order to not be taken advantage of by the galactic conglomerate. So, but we're pretty fair. We're pretty fair about our dues. Let's see. There it is. There's our ignition. Alrighty. Strip away. So sometimes you can get it one go if you core it, but with irregular shapes like this, you want to pack it on there as best you can, and just kind of scrape away layer after layer of the material. Now, this was actually an art project. Most of the galaxy really appreciated this art project. The person received a Glombaldirk Prize in art, which is one of that galaxy. It's kind of like the Nobel Prize on Earth, but the Glombaldirk Prize is galaxy wide. Um, but it was actually at first it was donated to the Galactic Federation, and or the Galactic Conglomerate, but they're getting rid of it now because there was some really embarrassing facts about the artist, and it turns out that he went to jail for molesting trees. So they just felt it best to kind of wash their hands of any ties with him, and they removed his prize from him. Excuse me, sir, this is a restricted area. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Yeah, it was a big mess, and so we were just kind of quietly cleaning this up. For the sake of you guys, sir, this is a restricted area. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. That ought to get the rest of it. Beautiful. Well done. That's an old joke. Excuse me, sir, this is a restricted area. Okay. Okay, Chief Engineer. I assure you, you're perfectly safe with your space armor on. Goodbye, sponge. Yeah, the sponge is. This is actually a natural, completely natural. What's the word I'm looking for? Formation. It's a completely natural formation. It's kind of like a space coral. And so you might be asking yourself, well, why are you removing it? Yeah, this is where a lot of people get bath supplies. Some people are allergic. That's the problem. But the scratching does help with exfoliation, or so they say. So the deal with, like, why are you guys removing this? It's a source of bath supplies. It's natural, but as she said, it's itchy, and so there's a microbe on these sponges that yeah, it's kind of polluting the universe. So once this microbe gets into your house, it's really hard to get rid of, and we almost wiped it out. Um, but yeah, so we almost wiped it out. But the thing that we were using, the chemical we were using to wipe it out, got outlawed. Mostly because the chemical tends to eat through everything: planets, gemstones, sentient beings. Yeah, and so yeah, it's really it's one of those things where you kind of have to hurt the environment to do what's best for the environment, sort of situations. Um, so, uh, if you have any bath supplies that were made from this type of sponge, I suggest you hold on to them. They're about to become luxury items. This isn't the last of the sponge, but it's the last of the sponge in this part of the solar system, in this part of the system. So once we light this mother up, it's gonna be getting rare in this sector. So, alrighty. The trees are not part of the sponge. They're actually a symbiotic organism, but they're infected with the sponge, so they gotta go. They gotta go. Primary engineer, are you prepared to detonate? Prepared. Prepped. Prepped and ready. Ready and willing. Alright, let me know when you're ready. I'm gonna put down an ignition stick. Alright, here we go. Nice. Clean sweep. Do love what we do, man. Love what we do. It is about coring, ultimately. That's the best technique. This formation, we don't really have a whole lot of information on it. Tell you what. Sometimes they're silent about these things, and sometimes they're not. Yeah, there's gonna need to be some cores. There's gonna need to be coring in this one. So she'll work on the coring there. I'll work on the coring up here. Oh, hidden treasure. Oh, not anymore. Mm-hmm. Oh no, you cored it. Okay, yeah, you. True, yeah. Coring is key. Cover it, plug up your butthole, right? Yeah, that's what we say. That's what we say. Alright, excuse me, sirs, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the area. This is a restricted area. Alright. That's it's not good for public relations. It's all we always have time for good manners. Always have time for good manners. They're falling into space. We've talked about this. You've been reprimanded for this. Excuse me, sir, you need to leave. Inertia is going to continue to carry these people. It wasn't fun. That's not true. Okay, look, if you count the comet that flew by and hit me, then it's true. All right, but excuse me, sir, you need to leave. It's a restricted area. All right. Okay. This ring is actually a failed mining attempt. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't this one. This was the hotel. Yeah, this was the hotel room. A failed hotel attempt. They had a really good idea for this hotel. But the main problem with it was that it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I think the reason that this attempt failed was because it was just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and it was really difficult to get to. And if we have a bunch of TNT sitting somewhere, like bunches of it that's not being lit, then maybe we should light it. Yeah, but I would have already experienced lag already, and I haven't until just now. You know what I mean? Excuse me, sir, this is a restricted area. You need to leave. Look, it was a hotel. That's all I knew about it. Okay. It was supposed to be a hotel, but it was a hotel with one room, and that shit just don't work. Boom. Some fine work. Some fine work, Chief Engineer. Just scrape away the rest of it. Sand Island, Soul Sand Island. This was actually part of the lot that that belonged to the cult that we talked about earlier. Not anymore, don't. Time to blow up home. Right. This was actually a derelict spacecraft, which some people left here a really long time ago. So it's pretty much just space junk floating around. So this one's easy. Not much to say about this one. There's some blocks in there that you'll notice are strangely colored, and those it's the remnants of the dark matter engine. It's a lot like dark matter, so it's dense as hell, but it doesn't actually have any of the energy, so it just kind of sits there. Chief Engineer, you almost prepared to remove this derelict spacecraft from the universe here? Alright. Go sit. Good to go sit. Like it's supposed to be good to go, sir. Of course, I didn't read it. Oh, hey. Yeah, so this was actually our temporary setup for when we were in this, you know, we've been working in this area for a while now, setting stuff up. And so we had set up this home here with stuff that we found from the old places, the old lots and real estates. So we made bricks that are pretty detonation resistant, because you know, when you do this stuff for a living and you live by where you blow things up, you need to be prepared. So I mean, we're just gonna pack this thing with a straight up unclean amount of tunt. You should see one of our spacecrafts. I mean, it looks just like this thing. We carry so much TNT with us. It's like, it's just comical. And you better believe there's no smoking on that ship, because yeah, if somebody did, boy, wow. And it's gone. Alright, so this manor here, this manor here was actually a McDonald's franchise at one point, but it didn't really do a whole lot of good. So they've commissioned us to get rid of it, and it's I mean, it's actually kind of funny story. The franchise was going okay at first, but it's, I don't know, man. It's a really weird story. So basically, the person that owned the franchise Um, they just really liked McDonald's. I mean, you know how some people say you shouldn't get high off your own stash. Well, this person broke that rule hard time, like I mean hardcore, and so uh, they ate so much McDonald's that they had a coronary and died. And the employees, to because the employers were pretty grateful. The person was all right. They were good people. They just had problems with McDonald's, and so the employees, to honor the franchise owner, actually petitioned the McDonald's corporate to make this dude like one of their inner circle executive, like put him in the museum and everything as like a huge influence for like positively for McDonald's, posthumously. And McDonald's was like, hey, go fuck yourself. And the employees didn't really care for that, and so um, the basement was just full of bodies, just bodies. It turns out that the employees went a little crazy and killed a couple of McDonald's executives, and so McDonald's was like, they assumed possession of the land, and they were like, what do you want us to do with it? And they were like, dude, just blow it up. Just get air in it. Just get some mad air in it and just fucking blow it up. It's like they just want to erase what happened completely. And so we've been authorized to use just a retarded amount of explosives on this thing. So yeah, that's the fucking McDonald's death story. So I'm gonna tell my chief engineer, I'm just putting in some cores here. You know what we do. You know how it is. Just found a chest with this in it. Bunch of dyes. Yeah, lots of emeralds. Lots and lots of emeralds. Alright, I got a little bit of core going on there, so. Alright, lighten them up. Wow. Whoa. We did a good job. Alright, so I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for this demolition. And yeah. Enjoy life.